Right. I'm listening to that again. I'm listening to that again. This is mental music. Who are these guys? This is absurd, insane, ridiculous, mental. Yes, so Hairless here. Today we have a new band to the channel. It's a band that I have received many requests for across many videos of mine that cover many genres. I've received recommendations on my metal videos, flamenco videos, instrumental videos, pop videos, which tells me that this might be a band that's quite hard to define, or a band that's just enjoyed by many people, and I really like that because it means I basically have no idea of what to expect. This is Polyphia with their song Playing God. A Google of Polyphia tells me they're a progressive band based in Texas. Comments have told me this song is far from simple, with some insane guitar playing apparently. I googled the lyrics as I often do beforehand, but it seems like there aren't any, so this must be an instrumental song. I did receive this chunk of text titled "What did Polyphia say about playing God?" which is very interesting, so please have a pause and a read of it. This song came out in May 2022, about 3 years ago at the time of recording. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Harmonics. Right. That's mental. I'm going to need to mentally prepare for this one. As soon as it started playing, there was no delay. It's just straight in on the video. As soon as you press play, it's playing. I did say harmonics. I'm not sure if you could hear that over the music. Harmonics being a guitar technique where you don't fully touch the string and it creates harmonics. They're by no means easy to do, but when mashed in with everything else that's going on. Yeah. Sorry, I'll probably need to mentally prepare for this. If this is your first time watching this channel, especially because they're a new band to the channel, I don't know how strict copyright will be, so I will be pausing, I will be talking. This helps break up the song, reduces the risk of my video being removed. If you don't like pauses and talking, now is your opportunity to click away, because if you comment something like, "Sir Hairless, why are you speaking or pausing?" well, we'll call you a silly Billy. Right. I'm listening to that again. I'm listening to that again. Before even going to his guitar playing, this is Tim Henson, I believe. He's the one who spoke about the song. I showed that chunk of text in the introduction. I'm sure there's much more insanity to come. Such an interesting opening though. We're hearing these strings, quite synthetic strings sounding in the background. Not now. The harmony as well. Very much rooted in E minor, I think. Yeah, E minor. I don't have perfect pitch, don't worry, I have relative pitch. I don't always get the note right. That seems to be the home key of the song, what the song is very much rooted in and based around. E minor, this is just personal bias, is one of my favorite keys. I don't know why, same with D minor, I just like the sound of them. And we seem to be moving E, C, B. Minor chord to major, that interval. That's a major third, but falling, so it doesn't really sound that major, that happy, especially as the fact that the next fall is this chromatic fall from here to here. There are those strings coming in, just adding a tiny bit of discordance. Very sustained, prolonged notes, which are a complete contrast both in terms of pitch, them being very high, like violins and everything else underneath. I mean, this guitar's all over the shop, to be honest, in a good way, in a crazy way. But the rhythms, just these long sustained notes falling gradually compared to the utter insanity that's going on in the guitar. Yeah, wow. I mean, I've not really been focusing on everyone else, to be honest. Let's just carry on. I need to hear more of this. The rhythmic importance of that backing guitar part. Sorry, I'm forgetting I'm on camera. I forget I'm doing a video. I think I had my hand on my face like this. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just witness a bit of music that's insane. It's making my right arm kind of seize up. I'm getting these really intense goosebumps in it. I think my brain's going into a bit of an overdrive. I'm just trying to take it in whilst also trying to be able to actually speak about it. So I'm trying to listen to the individual guitars or the bass or the drums. It's an impossible task. This is mental music. Who are these guys? This is absurd, insane, ridiculous, mental. Yeah, wow. Harmonically, so by harmonically, I mean in terms of the chords we're hearing. I showed you those 3 chords before, E minor, C, and then B. That seems to be the progression throughout most of it. We don't really deviate away from that harmonic foundation too much. Again, if this is your first time watching my channel, I am all about the harmony. I think harmony is the single most important thing when it comes to music. In a song, you can replace a singer or a guitarist. I mean, maybe not these guys, but you can replace people and the song will overall be very similar. Of course, musicians have their own nuances and that's what makes them unique. But if you change the harmony of a song, you start replacing major chords with minor chords, changing the chords themselves, suddenly it sounds like a different song. Harmony is so important, and I just think it's really overlooked. And there's no hard rule, in my opinion, about complicated versus simple harmony. Here, the harmony, as in the rough harmony, is not too complicated compared to other songs where there are just constant modulations and chord progressions and changes. And let me finish, I know what you're thinking right now, but I think that's why this is so insane. They've taken a fairly simple harmonic foundation, the very skeleton of it, you know, completely bare bones, and it's everything they're doing on top that is just utter insanity. The rhythms are giving me an aneurysm trying to focus on everything. The percussion mixed with the bass, well, and the guitar as well, because the plucking of the guitar in itself, this is very much a plucking kind of style, which they're doing with picks, which is interesting. Each pluck is like a little percussive motion anyway. The bass is a fairly percussive instrument, especially if you think of slap basses. And with the drums, and you combine them all together and you focus just on the rhythms, and it sounds like something that's computer generated. You know, when you see those like percussive palette things. And you can hit them super rapidly and it creates this crazy sound. That's what it sounds like here, just the rhythms. I'm not even talking about anything else yet. Let's carry on. I'll rewind a bit and then let's carry on. But we can really hear bum, 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 just everywhere in that song. Just listen out for that in the bottom. I'm loving these broken chord harmonies though there. Wow, they're bringing little bits of dissonance, nothing too dissonant, too discordant. So interesting. Can I just say though, how cool are these guys? I have no hair. You've probably noticed. I mean, look at the name of my channel. If you haven't, by the way, click that subscribe button right next to it. It really does help. These guys have a lot of hair. I am very jealous. Even when I did have hair, this was not my style. I was never about the really long hair. I always kept it short. But there's just something about, I mean, just everything. The aesthetic here, the video, the slight technological modifications we get, how they're all facing us, then suddenly they're all surrounding the drummer. This is super interesting. It's exciting to discover music like this. What is going on? Who are... This is mental. Such an interesting combination of styles as well. Here we've just got really heavy jazz and funk. What's the word? Affectations. A lot of chromaticism coming in now. Things are less rhythmic and they're more about the juicy chords. It's funny how I was just talking about the aesthetic of the video and then literally the second after we carried on, everything changed to this. What was that, like a white? Complete change here. Cross-legged like that. There's something a bit more formal, chilled about it. And these chord progressions, they just really remind me when I was starting out with guitar. And you start learning these slightly non-standard chords, you know, like... and adding some real funky chords in there. Those chords that I just showed there, super, super simple. Your fingers are fairly close together. Here, now the style has obviously changed. And whilst there's definitely a shock factor about the rapid, quick playing that we got at the beginning, whether it's guitar, instrument, violin, anything really, often these chordal types of playing are much more difficult than they look. Let's watch their hands on the fretboards. These guys make it look so, so easy, and that's why they're just chilling. They're definitely a bit more complicated than they might look to play. Nice little chromatic slide. His face there when he makes the chord change. The whistling going on in the background as well. It's just such a nice little added layer to funk it up a little bit. There's the chromaticism we're hearing everywhere. And now they're giving us a bit of a melody. Starting with this falling minor arpeggio. Which is really interesting because the chords, as we said before, we have 3 chords. E minor, C major, B major. So this is where we've landed now, and it's making up that starting part of the melody. But we'll notice it's the minor version. Whereas B major has been so prominent in the rest of the song. To change from minor to major, you just change the 3rd note. And if we listen out to the music, we can hear that change. This chromaticism that's becoming much more prominent everywhere in the music. So it kind of sounds a bit like subtle discordance. That's just one example of many, but the slide up. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now. The drummer as well, on a mad one. Finishing as well with the 3-part or 4-part vocal homophony and just ahs, and then obviously you've got the whistles on the top, bass line underneath. Really cool way to end. I'm sorry, but how is he playing just so nonchalantly? I know it's a music video, so technically what he's playing doesn't have to be correct, but I'm sure it is. listen to this song. I could Google it, but it's quite fun to let all of you guys comment and let me know about these new artists to the channel. I enjoy reading all the comments. How do they know each other? What's their story? They're mental musicians. That little harmonics chord at the end, so quick, sweet, swift, over before we can even really hear it. And they're just very subtly, very quickly throwing in one bogey note. See if you can pick it out. I love the structure on a more macro level as well. I kind of think of it in my head as moving boom, 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 down and then up to a different middle point, but it's so quick and rapid and constantly evolving and changing. My mind is blown. I should stop this video here. Really crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm just excited to hear more of them. This video is popular. It nearly has 50 million views at the time of recording, to be fair. It's so mental, it's making me choke. Let's leave that one there. Please comment down below everything you know about these guys, any songs you'd like me to do by them in the future. And as always, thank you for watching. Would really appreciate a like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time.